This is a video of the final test of 39162. What I have been doing on people that have a considerable commute is I make a video of the final testing. This way, if something does not appear right, the customer can point that out before he picks it up. He finds it out a few hundred miles away. So what we're going to do is connect this to a test panel, and we're going to be able to hear it, but more importantly, we're going to be able to see the left and the right output on this device that's in front of me. And let's see how this new software is working. Oh, that's just so beautiful. Just downloaded this, so I have no clue if it's going to work or not. But the left channel is going to be the upper display on the oscilloscope. That's that device we're looking at. And the right channel is going to be the lower display. Also, this device here is going to have two horizontal bar graphs. The upper display will be the left channel, lower will be the right. Works in conjunction with the oscilloscope. That's why they're next to each other. So what we're going to do is, boy, I'm not sure I like this new software. What we're going to do is turn this on, and we're going to first initially run a Furnace cycle sine wave into the auxiliary input. This is a very telling test. We'll be able to take a look at the waveforms, and this is also connected to a distortion analyzer, which we're not going to use now, but was used in prior testing of this device. But this gives a pretty good indication of what the item's doing. We're then going to jump over to FM and just scan the dial. We're in a kind of a industrial area here, so we pick up a lot of interference from fluorescent lights and machinery. We don't have an outdoor antenna. We have a little dipole in the shop, so FM reception will not be optimum, but it will be sufficient. The other thing we're going to do is as I turn up the initial test of sine wave, it's going to start to distort the microphone and hurt my eardrums. So at one point, now I'll indicate that point, we're going to shift over to a dummy load. The dummy load stresses the receiver just like speakers, but instead of converting the audio energy into sound, it converts the audio energy into heat. Okay, so this is the item. We're going to turn it on, and these items pretty much generically have an approximate 10-second time delay. I see it's an FM. Let's go over to, oh yeah, let's make sure all the lights work first of all. AM, FM, CD, boom, boom, boom. And this feature Dolby for FM we don't use anymore, but that lights up too. Okay, so let's get back to CD. We're going to turn this up a little bit. Now you might be able to hear that. What I'm going to do is take this light off the scope, makes it easier to see. And as I turn this up, it's going to probably start to distort the microphone. But we're going to turn this up. And this is the balance. I'm going to go to the left. So we're only going to see the upper display. And there's the right, left, 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 right. Okay. So what we're going to do is jump over to dummy load. And we're going to turn this up to the point where we can actually do some damage, and we don't want to hold it at that point too long. But that is where we experience clipping. That's where the top, and whoa, right there. That's where the top, let's zoom in on that. When the top and the bottom starts to, the sine wave starts to flatten out, that's called clipping. And that's when excessive current is drawn through the output transistors, and damage occurs. So let's zoom in closer here. That's pretty good. All right. So again, we're going to turn this up. We're just going to see the clipping. Whoa! And we don't want to stay there too long. but that's full power, and we don't want to stay there long at all. Okay, so we're going to back this down. I'll turn the speakers back on and turn this down a little bit. And what we'll do is we'll go over to FM.
Radical stuff.
Whoops.
But that's not what these debates are really about. In broad scope, that's what
So
they're
what
about.
we'll
Because
do,
in the end,
what we'll do is we'll start at the top end of the band. And again, we're not going to get a lot of stations. We just have a dipole in the shop. We have a lot of interference, but we will get some. Oh yeah, here. It'd be better if you could maybe see the display. Yeah, this is good. We'll be able to get the tuner and the display. Okay. There we go. It even picks up Spain. Haha. Okay. Hopefully that volume is not too loud.
Trump's still the center of attention, or is it whatever kooky Democrat is out there proclaiming to the skies that they are going to rewrite the American compact and tear down the American Constitution? Because all Democrats had to do was not be crazy. That's all they had to do. They did not show it. Okay, so let's jump in.
You may notice that the stereo light is not on. Higher end tuners use a circuit that switches the stereo multiplex on and off based on signal strength. FM stereo requires at least an extra 20 dB stronger signal to not produce objectionable hiss. So this signal is being deemed not strong enough for the item to switch it into stereo, so it automatically keeps it into mono.
I don't know if I'm going to reach it, but that's very interesting about the max slot. Yeah. By the way, here's another fact. Why don't they have the max slot? Why do they need the trade exception?
You'll notice this has a nice strong signal,
$5 million a year,
but there's no FM stereo. That's because this is ESPN radio and they broadcast in mono, no stereo.
But back then I didn't really know what it was. But now I see. What's the profit?
Okay, that's the end of that test. This item has been run here for probably 36 hours. Then I wrapped it up and did this final test. That's it.